My name is Anthea. I'm with the Drakenstein Municipality. I serve there as the Head of Department for Community Services. I started a year ago, and my previous experience with the municipality has been as a councillor, where we then started the Drakenstein Youth Council and started to work with youth on certain issues. But my passion and my heart is in development, and it has always been. And a particular approach to development where you don't go walk and tell people what is development, but you walk the process with them. And last year we had a process around June 16 where we said, okay, how do we honor and commemorate and reflect and remember what happened in the past without doing the event thing, because it has gone to the point where the events become t-shirts and free food and a bus trip and a day out. So we looked at how do we take this event and make it something where it's concrete, where at least you would have, even if it's in less people, that you would have implanted in them the history and the memory of June 16. So we started the process where we then used art, painting, working with murals, just getting groups to work together, and I think that's available on YouTube to see what they did and how they did it. And that was such great fun. But we used the June 16, we looked at the past, had a process, and then through that process they then started looking at how they're going to do their drawings and how they're going to do their paintings, and that worked out wonderful. And young people's feedback was that they want more like that they've never even used a paintbrush, never used paint, never been able to create with their own hands, but using the backdrop of June 16, then reflecting on the past, remembering it, but using that backdrop to create and look at their own lives today. So this whole thing started. So then after the young people gave us feedback last year that they really want to have more such kind of work, we sort of thought up now, like, how do we do it now this year, and how do we use the same energy, the same process, where they become the creators, but at the same time learn a skill, but also engage with the history of June 16. And this was dreamt up, thought up, how do we get a glimpse of what does our municipality look like through the eyes of young people. And this is where it started. How do we get them to tell us what does it look like? How does the town look like through their eyes? And this is where the photography thing came in. And it's just sort of grew. How would you do something like this? The only way you can do it is if you give them a camera. Do they know how to use cameras? We don't know, so we need to teach them the camera skills. So that is how this whole process started. We wanted a product where we can, we wanted an avenue into showing them, into working with them around June 16, but also into finding out what are the problems that they experience in their wards where they live, and the only way that you can do it without long worded workshops and meetings and IDP or whatever, there's a quick way, and there's a way there they can push it to you and still be proud of what they've done, and that is through the photography workshops. So what we didn't count on is that it would have such an impact on them, and that impact is that some of them are saying back through the Facebook interviews that they often passed stuff which was so ordinary. I mean, they were even numb to some of the things, but the moment they turned the lens onto it, it became something special, it became something quite extraordinary. A simple thing like a crack in the window, which they always see, was now something huge. It had this huge story to it, and that was the plus that came out of it for them that we didn't even count on.
And how did you feel when you saw the images of what they've created?
I think the images that they have created is showing us a couple of themes. You can actually look at the wards and you can see the overpowering themes of every one of those wards. You can look at particular wards in our urban poor areas, and you can see that the issues that confront them are issues of drugs and social, all kind of ills that you can relate to that. And those things are the generators of crime. And their eyes are focused on that, and all those are all the negative influences in their ward. But then you can look at some of the rural wards and you see what are those young people seeing. And they're seeing nature. Some of them have showed pictures which are landscape pictures, the beauty of their surroundings. And it also tells you that it's something that we must protect it. Within all of that beauty, there's so much horror, because they also show another side. If you look at some of the rural pictures of people living in such squalid conditions in the farmhouses, And so it contradicts these pictures of absolute opulence and, horror under which people are living. So you see all these contradictions coming out of the pictures. You see themes emerging from it. You see positive images of people giving food, good deeds, etc. And themes are there.